Hey, it's your midday update. Everything you didn't want to know, but you're going to learn anyway. So, anyway, let me just click this off here. Get that. As usual, Death Wish Coffee. So, we had some games last night. And we'll go through all of those here in just a second. So, let this thing get rolling. Rolling. Anyway, yeah, districts is starting for like class 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, and then 4, 5, 6 start the 27th. So, here we go. All right. So, games last night. Let's just go ahead and start with class 1. No. Let's start with class 1. Yes. So, girls played last night in class 1. So, class 1, District 8, which makes Montrose, Ballard, Drexel, Lutheran, Chehowee, Kingsville, and Miami are all of those. So, Montrose, who is the number 1 seed, won over Ballard 61-40. So they advanced to the championship game. That championship game will be on the 26th at 5:30, and that will be played at Montrose. And Drexel, 36-23 over Lutheran, which is Kansas City School. So they'll advance. Drexel will take on Montrose, the 26th, 5:30. So that's the girls. Boys here. Okay, so this happened. This is more of an update. So Chehowee will end up playing Montrose tonight, and Miami will end up playing at Drexel tonight as well. So, of course, Montrose being the number 1. Montrose was the number 1 seed on the boys' side. So, and kind of an upset in a way. Of course, that middle of the bracket, that's usually those teams are about evenly matched anyway. But the number 5 seed did win over the number 4 seed, Chehowee. No, I'm wrong. I just said that backwards. Sorry. Anyway, Chehowee was the number 4 seed, so the higher seed did win, and that looks like it's consistent throughout there. Was it the same with girls? Yes. So, moving on. All right, Class 3, 13, which consists of Windsor, Skyline, Butler, Stockton, Sherwood, who else? Colcamp, all those teams. So, Skyline will take on Windsor tonight at 6 o'clock. It will be at Skyline. So I don't know what the live streaming situation is there. I know that Skyline they do their own live streaming. They don't have a company like myself that comes in and does that. I think the superintendent actually is in charge of all that. At least during volleyball season, he was. So Butler will end up playing Stockton, which is the number 2 seed, taking on the number 3 seed. Should be a pretty good game there. Let's see how they match up. So Butler 65.1 points per game, and Stockton 53. But both of them give up 55 points for Butler and 56.1 for Stockton. So on paper, Butler kind of has the edge, but not by much. Not by much. I think really the fact that they're giving up as many points, they're both giving up the same amount of points. Probably not going to make a difference there. It's whoever wants it best, which usually turns out to be good games. Which I will. Skyline and Windsor, the matchup here, it's probably be a little more skewed, because Skyline is putting up 70 points. The only other team that I've seen out there that's putting up more points is Lakeland. So, man, wouldn't that have been nice to have those two play this year? Skyline knocked them out of the district championship game last year. So, but anyway, Skyline's at 70, and then the Windsor Greyhounds are at 54.7 there. And here's the big number here. 45 points Skyline's giving up versus 52.9 for the Greyhounds. So on paper, it's definitely leaning towards Skyline. Of course, they are their top seed. They've had a good basketball and football program down there for centuries, it seems like. So anyway, all right. We had some girls games boys games last night. So let's just recap on the girls game. Girls side of the bracket for Class 2, District 13. Osceola will play at Archie tonight, and then Midway will play at Wabalo. So that is the number 3 seed taking on the number 2 seed, and the number 5 seed taking on the number 1 seed. So I don't know if anybody watches any of the other ones, but I thought that Osceola should be ranked higher than Appleton City, but I was talking to a few people last night, and they reminded me, well, Appleton City did beat Osceola, so that probably flipped that. So, yeah, but you get to the tournaments when they actually hit head to head. Both teams got all their players playing, which wasn't the case with Osceola and Appleton City the first time, and Osceola comes out on top. Wish I'd been at that game, but I couldn't be there on the 22nd. But they do play tonight. Osceola does play tonight against Archie. Archie, I went last night just because I like to see kind of how teams are doing, and does their record really reflect who they are and what they are. Sometimes you'll have teams that have a great record, but they just haven't played. Their schedule they've played teams that wasn't very tough. So the matchup with Osceola and Archie Whirlwinds is Archie's definitely they've got an advantage here. They're 48.9, so 49 points per game is what they're averaging, and they're only giving up 32.3. Now Osceola, on the other hand, is only averaging basically 41 points per game, and then giving up 47. So, and I'm towards the end of the season now. I've actually been able to get to a few Osceola games, and Osceola kind of does struggle to score. Even though they are averaging 40 points, it seems like I don't know, they kind of come out to a slow start. They don't get a lot of points, and if Wooler is in foul trouble, then that could definitely impact the game, because she's one of their top scorers. Not to say that the other girls don't do a good job. It's just all teams are kind of like that. They've got people who score more than others. So on paper here, Archie really has got the advantage. Like I said, I went last night and went and skimmed through some of their games and kind of see what they're doing, what's going on here. And really, their shooting, I don't think, probably much better than a lot of the teams in the area. But where they're really excelling at is they're good at stealing the ball, turnovers. It looks like they got a pretty good full court press. So inbound the ball, you're going to have to fight all the way down the court, and then that can cause turnovers. So they're only allowing 32 points, which is some of the lowest that I've seen in girls basketball this year. So if Osceola can come out and not cough up the ball a lot, and then just have a really good night scoring, they could win that game. I think that's kind of the difference there. Don't cough up the ball, girls. Good ball control, which is, you can say that about any game really, but that is one thing that they've kind of struggled with. And the Whirlwinds, from what I've seen just skimming through games last night, that is one thing. They steal the ball away, and they can use that full court press. So, and not to say that they can't score, they can. Obviously they can. 48, 49 points average is really good. So, okay. Of course, that game is tonight at 6 o'clock at Archie. I believe that Archie does have some sort of setup there where they'll live stream to Misha TV. So it's what you're used to seeing anyway. It's just one camera angle, really wide, and you'll have the scoreboard that's mounted to the ceiling that you'll be able to see. But you will have to pay $10 to watch any of these games that are now in districts. So, yeah. On the bottom side of the bracket, of course, you got Wabalo, who is going to take on Midway. Now, I was able to see Osceola and Midway. They just played. Was it Osceola and Midway? I think so. No, it wasn't Osceola and Midway. That was Wabalo and Osceola that played the other day. That I was able to go down their pink out and senior night, even though it was during the day on Saturday. Oh well. But Midway girls they're having a good year. Of course, so is Wabalo. So you got the 3 and the 2 seed taking on each other, and so Wabalo 51.1 points per game average and 39.5, which on the other hand 53.6 for Midway and 35. So this is an interesting matchup. Gosh, I should stay home tonight and rest and not go. But on paper, this looks like a really good game. And I have not seen Midway play, but I have seen Wabalo. And this could be a really good game. So, and I don't know how they're doing their live streaming. I know the school sets up and does their own, but I don't know if they've set that up to run to Misha TV or not. Don't know. If I'm not going to the games tonight, I'm not going to pay $10 to watch. I won't do it. Here's the funny thing is, so I've talked to a lot of people outside of here, and I don't know how many times people have said to me, why would I pay $10 to watch the game when I can go watch it for $5 and be there? I don't know. Why would you do that? I won't. And I kind of like to stay home tonight, but I kind of like to watch both of these games. This Osceola game at Archie. If I could talk today, it'd make this so much easier. So, and then the Wabalo game. I like Wabalos. Their gym. There's just no bad seat in the house. There just isn't. And kind of cool setup that they got going there with the mezzanine up top. They've got a place on the ends for media, which is awesome for us because we sit down there at that one end and then we just go put our cameras in where we want because they're all wireless. So it's a good setup down there. I like that gym. Man, I don't know if there's any restrictions on. I know the Archie one you have to have tickets, but there's like they were giving out a bunch of tickets. I don't know about Wablo. I know Osceola, there's no restrictions. You just have to wear a mask. So, I don't know. Should I stay or should I go? Probably going to stay. Anyway. That's how that works out. I wish I'd kind of seen Midway play. Maybe I'll go watch and skim through and watch some of the games because I know that they live stream theirs there. So, all right. So anyway, whoever wins tonight will end up playing the 27th at Osceola. So it looks like it's going to be. If I had to predict, man, I say definitely Archie's got an advantage over Osceola. I know a lot of you aren't gonna like to hear that, but and then this Wablo game, man, that really is a toss-up because both those teams are really good. Of course, I got family goes to Midway. Bodie, my nephew, he goes there. Great, Garrett and Michaela all graduated there. Well, Bodie hasn't yet. He's a senior. But he doesn't play basketball. He's more of a gamer. So, man, I'm going to say the home seed wins. Wablo. I'm going to go with Wablo on that one. So, Archie and Wablo, of course, they'll play at Osceola, and we're planning on live streaming that to the Misha platform. So, which here's my prediction. Nobody's going to pay to watch because then go to the school where there's no restrictions and pay $5 instead of 10. Really. If you go to the game, get a bag of popcorn. Considering, I can see people, if Archie ends up winning, I can see, you're going to spend a little bit more gas. So it's kind of even money, but if you got a group of people, like 4 people that go in a car, then you're good. But then you get to be there in person. That says a lot. So I don't know. There we go. All right, moving on. Of course, last night, Osceola defeated Midway 45-41. That game looked like we might have had an upset there because Midway came out and were up in the first quarter, I think by 8 points. And then at about a minute left, Osceola tied it up, and then at the end of the first quarter, Midway scored, and I think they were up by 4, so they hit one at the buzzer. They were already up by 2, hit one so they're up by 4. So that game got really interesting. Everybody's kind of like, what's going on here? Of course, the winner of that game has to play Lakeland, which will be tomorrow. We will live stream that to Misha TV because we're not allowed to stream it anywhere else. I'm kind of curious what's going to happen there because I think that will really paint a picture for how effective the pay-per-view streaming really is for these games, especially at the district level. Because at this point, the schools are pretty much close together. I mean, you look at this district here, Archie and Midway really are kind of the furthest away from the rest of them. I guess Archie isn't too far away from Appleton City, but none of these, we're talking 40-minute drive if you had to go from Archie to Wablo or something like that. Maybe it's a little bit longer. But it's $5 to get in. Wherever you go. Pay $10, stay at home. And usually the broadcasts are, it's not as good as being at the game. Let's just put it that way. I know ours is probably a little bit better. I hate to sound like I'm bragging, but really, I mean, we have multiple cameras, we have time clocks, we have all that type of stuff. So, all the things that um, make the game seem more like a college atmosphere. That's kind of what we go for. So, anyway, so of course, let's just look at the matchups here really quick with Lakeland and Osceola. And personally, I'm just gonna say personally, I always like going to the Lakeland Osceola games because those two schools are so close. I mean, there's like 10 miles difference from like Lakeland to Osceola. Seriously, I mean, it's like if you live in like the Lakeland School District, you can leave your house 10 minutes before the game starts and get there in time. You might have to rush a little bit, but anyway. So, of course, Lakeland is 21-1, and Osceola is 11-11. Lakeland is putting up 77.6 points per game, and Osceola is 45. So a huge difference there. And then Osceola is giving up close to 50, 49.3, and Lakeland 45. So I'd like to see just what the statistics are in the after the third quarter only, because I know that they put in a lot of backups and let some of their younger players play Lakeland because they've had running clocks all season long, a lot of different teams. So anyway, no need to make a prediction there. Lakeland versus Osceola. Wabalo versus Archie. Wabalo versus Archie. Okay, so Wabalo 58-63 is what those two teams are averaging per game, points per game, and then Archie is giving up almost 60 points per game, so that is, and then Wabalo's giving up 54. I will say this about Wabalo: they've had a tougher season. They've played a lot of good teams. So I think they played Lakeland very early in the season. I was thinking they played them. No, they didn't match up in the holiday at Wabalo, holiday tournament Wabalo. I don't think they played. I don't think so. Okay. Anyway, so here's the big thing here is giving up 60 points per game on average. So I'm definitely going to say that Wabalo should win this one. Not to count Archie out. So and I think that's all we kind of got. Clinton. It doesn't start until the 27th, so those games are at boys and girls both play at Clinton. You can pay $10 to watch, or there's tickets available. 4 people per athlete. That's what they're doing, which is usually about what you get anyway. So I know maybe one of those deals that maybe they should just opened it up, but I'm not in that loop. I don't make that decision. But I am glad that they can allow 4 people per athlete now. And we were at the court mat night. And I think that was the first night that they had allowed 4 people per. And then they had a student section and also the band. So that was really nice to be back in that auditorium, and it felt like a regular season basketball game. It was a little bit louder, definitely with the band there. And if you haven't heard Clinton band play, they are really good. I'm just gonna, no offense to any of the other schools that have bands that I don't brag about, but they really are good, and they do deserve the recognition. So there is that. Those are Saturday. Of course, we will be live streaming in Osceola on Saturday for the championship games, boys and girls. I figured that most likely on the girls, I got the girls up here. Yeah, most likely on the girls' side, if somehow Osceola was able to pull it off, Osceola playing the championship district game at home would be awesome. Then, but most, and I'm really hoping that it turns out that way. Osceola Wabalo. Of course, Osceola just played Wabalo and Wabalo won. But if it turns out to be Archie and Wabalo in the girls' championship game, that'll be good. We will cover it. I really like what Wabalo's going on down there at their school. I can't say enough nice things about Coach Dreyer. He's just a really great guy. So I really wish I could have been down there more often. It's just the atmosphere down there they have with that team and everything in that school. It's a lot of fun, and it's just, so really enjoy it. Anyway, 27th, 4 o'clock girls game, 6 o'clock boys game, championship Saturday. Other than that, I don't think I got much of anything else. That's it. That's all, folks, man. That's it. I'm gonna go do the dishes and take out the trash and do the domestic things. I love tax season. So okay, my wife's an accountant, so tax season she's busy as can be, working 45,000 hours a week. Even though she is going to get out of the office to be at the Lakeland game, I think she's actually going to call that game. So it'd be nice. So anyway, all right. See y'all later. Got anything, guys, you want to add? Questions? Anything like that? Comments below. We'll chat there. See you.